let's get into it. What's up, everybody? This is SMH Podcast. I am your host, Shania. Thank you guys for joining me for a new season and a new start to SMH Podcast. I appreciate everybody that's been following me so far. I want to say congratulations to us. I want everybody to clap it up for themselves because we just hit 3,000 downloads. Yay! Listen, I know I took a break. I took a very long break. It's like my third break since starting my podcast. And I do want to apologize for all my, listeners that held on to me for this long. I really want to just thank everybody that's been following along with me. I had to take a break. I had to take a mental break, a physical break, just a break for myself, because I was just going through a lot mentally and it was just draining my entire body, and I needed to just refine myself and refine my mind and redo myself in a sort of way, just like I'm going to do with this podcast. We're going to start fresh, start new, start over, and, get back into the groove of things and having our discussions and talking and me being here for y'all every week. I promise I will drop something every week for y'all and be more interactive on social media, which you can follow me on my social media. For Instagram, it's SMH Podcast 96. You can follow me on Twitter, SMH Podcast 1. That is the @ for it, SMH Podcast 1. I am on YouTube, SMH Podcast 96. You can find me on Facebook as well, SMH Podcast 96. I'm on a Facebook group, so it is a group on Facebook. But yeah, so I appreciate y'all for following me this long. Thank y'all for coming back to the show. Thank y'all for just being here for me and being here for yourselves as well, too. We're here to grow. This is what this podcast is about. We're here to grow as individuals, grow in our relationships, grow in life, because the world is getting crazy, y'all. There's been a lot going on. I know y'all have been seeing it on social media. I've been seeing it. There's been a lot going on in the world. A lot of discussions been going on. A lot of, I want to say, toxic way of being going on. That's what I'm going to say. There's been a lot of toxicity going on. And I want to be here to help anybody that needs help through that toxicity, needs help understanding that toxicity, because the world has been getting more toxiter and I don't even know if that's a word. I don't, but we're going to use it, toxiter. Okay. The world's just been getting toxiter. But anyway, we're gonna get into the episode, and we finna get into our first segment. It is What's for Tea. For those of y'all that are just following along, for anybody new that's listening, What's for Tea is a segment that I like to use to talk about maybe current events, things that are going on that you might not have known about, and just things that are up for discussion, that's like hot topics type-ish. And I just want to keep y'all in tune with the things that are going on before we get to our main topic. So first up for tea, I want to get into right now, I'm following this story on the Shade Room on Instagram. If y'all don't know who Charleston White is, he is a YouTuber, a very radical YouTuber. And my best way to describe him is he's kind of like Uncle Ruckus. He's a black man who in a sort of sense speaks a lot of truth when it comes to a lot of the controversy in the black community. But at the same time, he's a very controversial man because he doesn't seem like he really likes black people. So it kind of just, he rubs you the wrong way, but he also speaks a lot of truth. So it's kind of hard to like him, but it's kind of hard to dislike him at the same time. So right now he's getting into beef with T.I.'s son, King. For those of y'all who don't know, T.I.'s one of his younger sons with Tiny. His name is King, and King is a very interesting character. I will say he is a very interesting character only because he is a little badass. All right. He does do a lot from what I've seen on social media. He's been getting into a lot of arguments and fights and just doing a lot that just bringing him a lot of attention. That's putting him in a negative light is what I'm going to say. But right now he's beefing. I guess he's seen Charleston White in public, and him and his friends was going, put put hands on him or whatever is what he said. And Charleston White's basically like, oh yeah, I tagged the police department in Atlanta and politicians and all this, because basically he wants to send him to jail. Now, I think that's a little excessive, because one, this is a child, but his whole alternative is like he doesn't like disrespectful children, and this is the reason why we have juvenile detention centers, and this is why the youth is disrespectful to, like, he makes a lot of valid points. I get it. I agree children should not be disrespectful to older people, but at the same time, I think as an older person you need to be a little bit more mature in the situation, a little bit more wise, and not be so, I guess, gung-ho and being, because right now what I feel like you're just perpetuating a cycle. Like you want to stop the image of this negative image of black men, but you're putting them into a system that kind of puts them in a negative light. And he doesn't really shed light on anything positive black men there's doing. He always sheds lights on the negative things that they're doing. And that's what really just kind of makes me upset about him, because he doesn't have anything positive to say. He always has something negative to say. Like, if you guys watch, like, there's another YouTuber called Funny Marco. You don't know who he is. He's really funny. He did an interview with Charleston White, and the interview was very, like, for me, it just exposed him for the true person that he is, even though he's trying so hard to make it seem like he's this enlightened type black man, but he's not. He's kind of being a ridicule to us at the same time as trying to be enlightened. But he's very controversial is what I'm going to say. I don't even want to get too much on the subject on him too much, because trust me, that he will take up a whole segment, and maybe I'll do that too, take up a whole segment so y'all can learn who Charleston White is, because he's a very interesting man. But right now he's beefing with T.I. and all that, and I just think it's just, if you don't know who he is, just go look him up, because he's a very interesting man, and I just think he's a very radical man as well too. So we're gonna go move over from that and go on to next up for tea. I really don't even like to say things like this are up for tea, but it's something that we all need to know. The community is outraged after a 15-year-old is fatally shot by police in Gulfport, Mississippi. Mississippi. And apparently what happened is what the police are saying. I'm going to say that first. What the police are saying is that they seen a group of kids riding around in a car with guns, waving it at them. They chased the car down, I guess, because somehow it went from them chasing the car down to them being at this store. They seen the 15-year-old, and then, shots went off, and then the little boy died. For me, it's very controversial because what's been put online, the videos online from like the families, the eyewitnesses and all that, from what it sounds like is the boy didn't have a gun at all. He was unarmed. He was coming out of a store. I don't know what escalated to where the police drew their guns and shot this little boy. So, right now the story is still developing. It's very sad, very tragic, because I just don't like the fact that children are dying at the hands of adults. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that authority figures are using their power and then try to justify it at the same time. Like, and this is a little, and not just that this little boy is black. I seen not too long ago, like even a couple of days ago, a police officer was just fired pretty much for shooting a 17-year-old. He was in the parking lot of a fast food restaurant, forgot which one, and he pretty much opened the door and started shooting at him when he tried to drive off. You don't know if that little boy was scared or fearful or whatever had happened. I just don't think that they should use such a lethal tool to try to gain power or gain control of a situation just because they're kids and you don't think that they can be controlled. Kids are kids. Kids can be a lot and they think they know a lot, but at the same time, you being an adult, you need to know that and just try to assist the situation the best you can, instead of trying to be well, I'm going to put my foot down, because at the end of the day, we're killing kids. The fact that nobody wanted to do anything for an elementary school where all these young children died at, all because they couldn't do their jobs properly because they're so scared. Like, the police are making us, I just want to say this. The police are making it hard for us to trust them right now. They're making it hard for us to believe in them, because they do crazy stuff like this, try to justify it, and then want us to just go along with it like it's okay. And this is not okay. I don't think children should be dying by authority figures. I just don't. So we're going to move off of that, because it's getting me upset, honestly. So we're going to move off of that, and we're going to go on to our next up for tea. Now, this is a little sip moment, because next up for tea is Stormy Wellington. I know y'all been seeing that whole low vibration video. I know y'all been seeing it all over TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Y'all been seeing her, and this lady is an interesting lady. Now, listen, I'm going to say it like this. I'm not going to say you don't need a life coach, because, hey, whatever works for your life works for your life. But I'm going to say it like this. You don't need somebody to tell you how to live your life. You really don't. I know that you need to just figure out what makes you happy. Like, even if you need to write down what makes you happy, and then write down how you can achieve that happiness, if that makes sense. Like, write down what your goals is in life, and then try to figure out how you can achieve those goals, because that's the best way you could do it. I don't think paying $10,000 to talk to somebody, listen, knowledge is everywhere, information is everywhere, and what people are, in my opinion, are lazy. We so lazy that we'd rather pay somebody for some information that we can learn for free off the internet. We can learn for free from listening to a webinar, reading a book even. But no, we'd rather listen to scammers, because they got rich quick. We can get rich quick too. It's just like the BBLs. Like, I don't want to go work out, so I'm going to just go get my body done. Hey, I'm not knocking anybody that does it. But I'm just saying, we trying to take the easy way out of life. And this lady has found a way to come up on that, okay? Like, first of all, I'm going to talk about the video, first of all. Because it's like, she told the lady who paid for her to come there that she's a hood rat. First of all, she paid a lady to call her a hood rat. It's wild to me. This is wild to me. She paid the lady to call her a hood rat, and for her to degrade the food that they're both eating, that if mind you, if I'm correct, from a video that I seen on TikTok, from the little listings that she puts on her little, all the things you get when you pay for her to come for your service, she provides the food. So if she provides the food, and she called her a hood rat for the food that she's eating, and she provided the food, like, it don't make sense to me. Like, did y'all, like, is it clicking to y'all? Is that making sense to y'all? Like, she provided the food, then proceeded to call her a hood rat for the food that she has on her plate, but yet she has the same food on her plate, but yet she's a queen and the other girl's a hood rat. Wild. It's just wild, the things that we are letting absorb our minds. We are letting influence ourselves, because she really tried to use that as a teaching moment for herself, to be like, I just let anybody do. Yeah, you do let anybody do anything to you, sweetie. That was, you know what? And that was so real, because that was so real. She do let anybody do anything, because you let this lady come into your life and call you a hood rat after you paid her to be there and provide the food that you eating. That's wild to me. That's some tea for your ass. That was a low vibration. You know what? I give it to her, because that shit's She know what she doing. I'll tell you that. Stormy Wellington, you know what you doing, sir. Cause ain't no way. Ain't no damn way I would do that. Girl, I would ask for my money back. You should. Moving on. We're gonna move on. Next up for tea. Next up for tea is actually really sad to me. If y'all don't know, one of my favorite celebrity couples is broken up. Y'all didn't know that was my favorite celebrity couple, but one of my favorite celebrity couples broke up. Tia Mowry and her husband Corey Hardrick. I think it's really sad because everybody is just breaking up. Relationships, there's so many divorces going on. I don't know if there's something going on in the air. Maybe it's new beginnings for everybody. That's what I'm just gonna keep calling it, because from the tone of it, it just sounds like we all need some new beginnings, and it just sounds like this is all just a new chapter in our lives that's gonna happen. Like, that's what I really feel like all the old stuff is getting broken out of, and we finna all spring into something new. And I hate that I use her divorce as something like that, but it's honestly just what I see, because it's like, where is the love nowadays? What's happened to us to where we're all just so divided, so like separated, and all the love that was in the air is just depleting. Like, that's truly how I feel, just seeing people's lives and relationships and all that. It just feels like the love in the air is depleting so fast. So fast, and it sucks, and I just wish we could just get back to that time where we all loved each other. But moving on, that's all we have for tea today. Wasn't too much of a long segment. I did want to just go over a few topics, and please, hit me up on social media if you love any of these topics. We could talk more about it. If you want to be on the podcast, I'd love to have you on. We can have discussions and all that, go back and forth on the tea topics. But we're gonna move into our segment. The segment that I wanted to move into, I don't want it to be too controversial, but I did want to go into the pretty much perceptions we're all giving ourselves online, if that makes sense. Now, I got this because it stemmed from really a post that I seen. Crazy, right? I said crazy because I didn't even tell y'all yet, but it was crazy to me. So I'm on Instagram and I'm scrolling, and I see this ad for these children's clothes, and they were cute children's clothes, very children-y, like very childlike and all that, adolescent-like. But the children modeling it, they were two black kids, and the little boy had like fake tattoos all over his body. Now, when I first looked at it, I was like, that's interesting. Like, this little black boy, modeling these clothes. There was a little black girl with him. They look like a cute, like brother and sister duo modeling the clothes. I was like, interesting, because it was for a children's clothing ad. When you click on the, and then I proceeded to click on the ad, the actual brand's page. I started scrolling, and I see nothing but white kids. All down the feed. Like, I promise you, it was nothing but like for a good scroll till I got to the post of the two black kids. And then when you scroll more, you see more like black kids here and there and all that. They had different races on, but it was mostly fair-skinned kids in the beginning. So when I first clicked on the page, I was like, oh, this is some racist shit. Why would they put these babies on here like this? You don't see none of these other kids with tattoos. Why they gotta put the little black kids on here with tattoos and all that, making them look like a thug? Why do they have to put that image on a black? Like, why don't I can understand if maybe there was another kid with fake tattoos. Maybe they had more little black kids without the tattoos, but no. I see mostly fair-skinned kids, and I see this one black kid with these tattoos on here. I don't like it. They're racist. I wanted to cancel them. Until I clicked on the page of the kids. That's just their style. Like the kids, like their mom dresses them up like that. Like that's really their style. Like he wears fake tattoos. That he loves wearing fake tattoos. Like he's and you know what? Right then is when I realized I have a problem. I have a problem because I let social media influence my mind so much that I immediately went to, this company is racist, that they would put these kids on there, but their own parents are allowing them to have that imagery online. So is it racist, or I'm not going to say is it bad parenting, because when I was a kid, I love wearing fake tattoos. I bought them all the time. I put them literally all over my body, did not care. So I can't say it's bad parenting, and I would never say that because I have no kids. I'm not going to judge anybody's parenting. But what I'm going to say is that, did I let that image warp my mind into thinking it was racist? And does that happen a lot? And that's what I really thought. Does that happen a lot? Do we look at something online and immediately think, oh, that's racist, or oh, that's bad, or oh, this is like this or that, without understanding the full circle of things? Because I've realized that we see something online and we get one-sided perception of it. We get like it comes down to like, well, I'm gonna put it down to this analogy, like an Instagram post. When we post something on Instagram, most of the time it's what we want people to see. It's not the things that we don't want people to see. People don't see our sadness all the time. People don't see our anger all the time. People don't see our humbleness all the time, or those things. People only see the things that we allow them to see, the image we allow them to see. So most of the time we all think, oh, this person's life's going great because they're always on trips, or this person's life is going this way because they're in a relationship, like this and that. We're not fully understanding that things like divorce happen, like T is going through. I didn't know that they were having problems, or that was even a possibility, but we don't see those things because those are things that are not open to us. So what I'm trying to say is that the internet does a really good job of making sure we see the fantasy of things, but not seeing the bad and the ugly side of things. That's why a lot of people are depressed, because they're like, oh, I'm falling behind because this person got this, like a 12-year-old made $1 million. Like, that was that 12-year-old's life. Your life is probably different from that 12-year-old, and we can't always compare our lives to other people's lives. And I'm not even trying to get into all that, because what I'm really trying to get into is the perception that we are letting off to be, because I feel like that's what a lot of people have a problem with. Like, I don't post a lot on Instagram, on my personal page per se, because I have a certain way my page is set up, and I don't want to post something because it's going to throw my page off. And it's like, why do I care if this post is going to throw my page off, when I think whatever this content is I'm trying to post is good, but I'm psyching myself out because it's not going to look right on my page. People aren't going to get in. I'm going through all this stuff in my mind to stop me from doing these things instead of just doing it at the end of the day. And I wanted to go into, why do we do that? Is it because we're trying to keep up an image for other people to see, so that people can see, oh, this is how my life is going. This is how, because that's really what it is like, our social media accounts are just profiles of our life. And from first glimpse, it'll always look like, hey, this person's life is good or life is great. But on the back end, it could be they're going through a lot more shit than you will ever even know. But we don't know that is because of the images we're putting online. So that also goes into women and our perceptions as well. Like, I really feel like, I'm not saying you can't post what you want to post. Even I post, sometimes, I'm not going to say like explicit, but provocative images of myself online. And is it for attention? Sometimes, but is it for myself as well? Because I just want to showcase myself in this beauty, in this moment where I feel beautiful. Yes, most of the time it is like that. But at the same time, is what I'm saying is, be mindful of the images that you are putting out there, because that does attract a lot of the attention that you're probably not seeking and you probably are seeking. Like, there's this whole thing about, like, oh, if a girl has an OnlyFans, you know, don't date her type ish. And it sucks that, you know, anybody with an OnlyFans is perceived as pretty much a hoe. And I don't know if you have OnlyFans to be a hoe or to put yourself out there, and you're probably just posting pictures or images of yourself and you're not actually doing the do with anybody. So it makes you, it makes your whole image tarnished just because of the negative connotation to this one thing attached to your name now. And I really think we have to think about that. Like, oh, is me posting this something that is going to be beneficial for me in the end? Like, if me posting myself half naked, is that any, like, what value does that have for me right now? Am I posting that just to post a half naked picture of myself because I think I look sexy naked? Like, you know, you look sexy naked. You don't have to post it for everybody else to see it. You know, that's what always got me with, like, half naked or women posting negative, like the Instagram models posting negative images of themselves. Like, not even negative, like they'll be covering their titties and their butt and they're just like naked, but like the parts that you can't see is covered and all that. It blew me because it's like, with clothes on, you look sexy. So I know with clothes off, you look sexy as well too. You don't have to put this image out there for us to know that you look sexy. Like, and that be what's the point of it? I get it. You know, you want to feel sexy in the moment, but you know that. That's what I don't get. Like, you know that. So I don't know. It could just be me. I just don't like to also put myself in that type of image. Like, I also think about, like, I don't even really like posting twerking videos too much or twerking in public because I just feel like I'm not saying it puts out a negative image of myself or that it's a negative thing to do, you know, to each his own if you want to do that. I just feel like, for me, I don't think it's that appropriate for everybody to see me in that type of light. That's only meant for a certain few people. If I'm at the club and all that and I'm drunk with my friends, hell yeah, like, I'm popping my booty, turning up, you know, that, doing all that. But I'm not just doing that in front of everybody just to do it type ish. I'm not doing it for attention type. And I feel like that's what a lot of it is the attention. How much attention do you want? And how much attention are you seeking to get from doing the things that you putting out there? Is the images that you're putting out there to actually grab attention from people, or is it actually to showcase something for people to, you know, be like, oh, this is cool, this is dope type ish? So I just think we all need to be mindful of the images we're putting out on ourselves. Like, if you're not a gangbanger, why perpetuate yourself in that type of image? Like, speaking the lingo or posting the videos, the money. Like, if you don't have a gun, what you need a bulletproof vest for? I'm just saying, like, if, like, it astounds me, the type of images we're putting out there for the type of attention we're trying to receive back. And the more you feed into it, I'm going to just say the more you're going to get out of it, but with more comes with more. If that makes sense. I know that probably didn't make no damn sense. With more comes with more. Like, I just say, if you give out more, just expect to receive more. And that could be good or bad. So just be mindful of that too. But I didn't want to get too much into all of you know, your images. Hey, do what you want to do at the end of the day. Like, if you love yourself, if you love your body, your images, I just want everybody to be mindful, especially with people with kids. Like, the internet is getting weird. And for those who do have kids, make sure you are protecting your babies at the end of the day, because it breaks my heart just knowing that people bullied freaking Dwayne Wade's daughter so much that they had to turn off her comments just because she was different. She wanted to be different and to show herself as different. Like, the internet is getting so bad. People are bullying people. People talk about people's kids for no reason. For no reason at all. And it's like, kids should be off limits. But we have this toxic world and these toxic people living in it that want to continue this toxic behavior. Like, if y'all don't notice, toxic shit gets more popular than good things. And it's sad. It's truly sad. So I just want to tell y'all, I love y'all. I'm here for y'all. You know, you don't gotta showcase yourself in that type of image if you don't want to, and don't live your life by the internet. Please don't live your life by the internet. You're gonna end up crazy and doing some crazy things to try to please people who will cancel you in a quickness if you say something wrong. That's crazy to me. But anyway, I love y'all. Thank you for listening to the podcast. We going up for season 4. I promise y'all we gonna go up for season 4. We gonna do this. I'm gonna have more episodes for y'all, more everything. This is gonna be a whole new vamp of our podcast. I just appreciate y'all for following me this long. We got to 3,000 downloads. That's amazing. For me, that's really amazing. Like, I started this podcast about 2 years ago, almost. In November, it'll be two years ago, because I started it about a year ago, actually. Yeah, about a year ago. I started the podcast, and it's been a journey. It's been a lot. I started not really knowing much about podcasting, and then I got into it, and I tried to move faster than I was ready, and I ended up just burning out, honestly. And I had to really think about what I really wanted to do with this podcast, and if this was something I wanted to continue, before I just came back in and started recording for you guys. I really just wanted to redo some things and rechange a few things so that I was more comfortable and better for y'all. I wanted to be better for y'all, because this is really what I started this podcast for. It was to give myself a voice, but to also speak to people who might be going through the same stuff that maybe I've went through, other people are going through, and talk about some topics that we all have on our mind, but we all just don't have nobody to talk about it with. So I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. You know, you can follow me on my social media. Follow me on Instagram, SMH Podcast 96. You can also follow me on Twitter, SMH Podcast 1. That is the @ for it. I'm on Facebook, SMH Podcast 96, and YouTube, SMH Podcast 96. Thank you guys for listening. I can't wait for the next episode. And yeah.
I'm about to walk this motherfucker, man.